Hey, it's Corbellic, and welcome back to the Corbellic studio. Today I'm going to be showing you how I knock out a bunch of canvases in my 90-minute blocks. Those are the blocks that I work in, and then afterwards I take like a 20-minute, 30-minute break, and then I do another 90 minutes. It works for me. It's just a system that I developed over the years because I have a focus problem, and I'm just able to focus on that time. So no distractions, no cell phones, just 90 minutes of knocking down work. And I try to take care of the canvases and knock them out within either 7, 10, or 12 minutes. That's kind of the code and that I talk about in the art community program. And you can get the description of how the philosophy and the psychology behind it as well. Links below. We're going to just take care of this. We're going to knock it out. The first canvas that we're going to do, I'm feeling kind of like superhero. I'm feeling real confident about the art that I'm showing you, about the process. So I'm going to do a superhero, comic, fun, expressionism painting right now. And this one I built off of AI. So that's another one of the secrets that I'm going to show you guys is that I create certain references using AI. I punch certain things in, whatever funky kind of art that comes out, I'll use it. I don't care. Like I said, there's no rules when it comes to art. It's all subjective. It's not about the movements or it's not about the method or technique. It's about how we get there. It's about the results. All right. So we're going to do this together. Let me show you what I have ready for us. And then after that, I'm going to do a timeline of just knocking out the rest of the work within the 90-minute period. And boom, we're done. Right. All right, let's get started. I'm going to turn off one of my other lights just so that way I can see the canvas more. So this is what we're going to be working with. This is kind of like a Batman, Superman, Robin kind of thing. I don't know. When we get down to it, we're just going to see what comes out. That's the best part about it, is that I can't teach you how to paint, and whatever comes out of me just by looking off at the dimensions, that's what it's going to be. It doesn't matter. Let's just have fun with it. Let's not even think about it. All right. So one of the tools that I'm going to use today is I want to have this is a rubber brush right here. It's really good for just making sure that the paint smears across the canvas real quick, right? Like you see how it's able to spread. So we're just able to smear it and spread it on there. Doesn't matter what the color is. That way we're just getting some funky expressionism lines. And that's that. All right. So now the next thing that I'm going to do, just to make it more expression, right? I'm going to put some things in the background, some funky lines. It doesn't matter. I don't know what I'm doing. And I think that's the beautiful part about doing art, is that you don't have to know what you're doing. Like I said, I've created 17,000, or I've sold over 17,000 paintings on eBay just alone, and I never know what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. That's how I know that it's always inside of you anyways. There is no right or wrong. It's always going to sell. And as long as you don't second guess yourself. All right. Let's see here. What other things? I'm just using oil pastel right now, making just different background lines. And maybe I could even use some words in it, something like bat or super. Let's put bat on this one. Okay. All right. So now let's just get into the characters. You probably can't see it, or maybe you can. And that's a cool thing, because I can barely see it myself. So that way I'm not married too much to what the image is. I'm really just going off of, whatever is kind of there. And then I could create my own kind of funky thing, but I still have at least the dimensions. I don't have to think about in my head how to get it right and look at a reference photo and all of that stuff. It's already here. But I want you, when you're doing the projector, when you're working off of the projector, I want you to make sure that you don't have to think about the size, or you don't have to think about some of the different linings or anything like that. I mean, you can just go off of it and have fun. Boom, boom. Look at that. Oh, one of the things that I forgot to talk about is that I have 2 timers up here. So this one, I have it count down for us So that way it goes up to either 7, 10, 12 minutes, then on to the next one. It doesn't matter after that because really art can never be done. You can work on that stuff for years if you allow it. Then I have a second one where usually I put it to 90 minutes and I have it count down. So that way it could just keep me in check. Because whatever happens, happens after that, at that point. There's nothing that we can do to control anything. It just, whatever happens, happens. And that's fine. And look how I'm doing this, you know? It's so simple. In the art community program, I talk about all the best brushes to use, all the equipment that you would work with, things that it took me years to figure out. And it doesn't cost a lot of money either, as far as like the equipment that you need, the type of brushes. I don't use expensive brushes. All right, let's do this. I already have my easel ready with all of the paint. So, and look at this. I have no idea, you know, like I'm really trusting the process, as you can see right now. I don't know if this is going to work out. It always works out. Even if it doesn't work out, it always works out because we're just getting it done and over with. I always say to myself, if this one doesn't work or if this one doesn't look good, the next one will. Whatever mistakes that you make on the painting that you're currently working on, fix those mistakes on the next painting. Don't think about this one too much, because you would be surprised how the brain works. The things that you feel like are a mistake on this one, it's up to the market. The market, you know, the market will bid up to $100, $200 on this painting, and you just never know because you can't control it. Just like if you tried to control, if you think that you're painting something beautiful like a Mona Lisa, you can't control if it's going to sell like a Mona Lisa or not. It's not up to you. It's up to the market. But it's also up to timing. The only thing that you can control is that the work that you put in, and which is based off of the results. I call it in my art community program the lottery ticket effect. The lottery ticket effect works off of probability and how many that you actually do. The more that you do, the more chances that you have for a lottery ticket. But if you feel like you're only making one Mona Lisa lottery ticket, you're going to be disappointed when you find out that the market didn't like it. You liked it, but the market didn't like it, or the timing wasn't right. And then you're going to say, man, I'm not an artist. This isn't working for me. No, it is going to work for you. It's just that you care too much and you're attached to the end result. You can't control the end result. The only thing that you can control is showing up to work, just showing up to paint. I mean, look at me right now. You know, I'm not even thinking much about this. And it's a little bit, you know, I'm breaking my distraction rule because I'm talking to you guys while creating this. But if I can do this, you can do it. There's no rules in art. And anyone who tries to say that there are rules in art, run away from them. If someone says, hell, you're not doing this right and you got to use this brush stroke, you got to do it like this and you got to do it like that, that person, that's a red flag that they don't know what they're talking about. I think that's why I'm also in love with this process on this YouTube channel, by exposing how I use the projector, how I expose how I use certain AI for references, how I expose how I do everything, because I'm just waiting for somebody in the comments to say, you're not doing it right. Yeah, you just pointed yourself out. You just aired yourself out. You're not no artist. What do you know? Art is subjective. I can do whatever I want. Would someone say that to you if you weren't trying to sell it? Let's just say you was like, I just want to keep it for me. Or what about if you were a child? Would somebody say something to you and say, "Oh, that's ugly"? No, they wouldn't. They would pretend like it's the prettiest thing ever, and let's hang it up on the refrigerator. What since I'm an adult now, you don't want to hang my art up on the refrigerator? How dare you? How dare you not want to hang my Batman and Robin stick figure up on the refrigerator? I think that's the cool thing too, is like doing so much art over the years, I could spend so much time doing an art piece and actually be technical too. I could change it up. People seen my technical work. It's just boring to me. Picasso said a famous line where he said that it took him 17 years or something like that to learn how to draw or paint like an adult, which is technical and method. And then it took him, I think it was like either 40 or 50 years to learn how to paint like an adult or like a child. I messed that up. Apologize. It took him 17 years to learn how to draw as an adult and be technical, like a perfect face, everything of what art schools teach you. And then it took him 40 to 50 years how to break out of his mind and just let loose and paint like a child. I love that quote. He also said another famous one where he says, "Taste is the enemy of creativity," which means that, you're trying to paint stuff that looks good in your mind, that what is taste, but you're not actually being creative. And you'll never be creative. You'll never have stuff that's outside of the box because it looks good. You know, in 2025, I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that sells the most. And that's either in people wanting to create content on YouTube or people even creating art, is authenticity, just being yourself. People like things that aren't perfect in 2025 because none of us are perfect. And it doesn't matter, even in America, if you got $1 million or $1 billion, we're all going through something, you know? So people just like the authenticity where you're not perfect. Nothing's perfect. We're all going through something. And as long as you're just willing to let the chips fall where they lay and let people see it and you're okay with it, people resonate with that. And you'll resonate with it more too, instead of trying to perform and be something that you're not. That's why I also suggest my art program for anyone, because it's not just about making money, which is that's a key part, but it's also about exercising your mind psychologically, because art and creating the way that I do, it helps you psychologically with a lot of different things, as far as just letting go and not caring. It's kind of like a muscle that you build up after a while. And it's okay. It really is. All right, what time are we at? We're at 8 minutes right now, so we need to start cutting this up, right? And you can see right here where I'm not even thinking anything about it. There's no rules. I'd probably have this done by now if I wasn't talking to you. No, I'm just joking. That's the thing too. Like I teach in the program about, when you're doing art on here, just try to have it be within 7, 10, or 12 minutes. But there's really no rules to that either, especially when you're just starting off. You could just have fun with it. But to have the most out of the class, I don't want to say class. That's an icky word. It's like art school. I didn't go to art school, so I never liked class. But to have the most out of it is to go fast with each art, so that way you're not mentally tied to it. There was a study that was done that I guess they took one group of students And they told the group of students who were art students, of course, that try to complete as many Mona Lisas as possible. Now, when I say Mona Lisas, I just mean beautiful paintings. But try to complete as many beautiful paintings as possible within a short amount of time. And I think their time was like either a month or something like that. Then they told another group, try to make this one painting as beautiful as you can. And in the study, you know what they found out? That the group that they were told just try to make as many as possible, it didn't matter if they were ugly or not, that group had more beautiful Mona Lisas than the other group that was focused on making just one beautiful Mona Lisa, because their thought was all into that. The stress and everything was into that one piece. Like, look at this painting. I think this is awesome. And then it's on to the next one. Well, not yet. This is one of the tools that I use as a air gun. Well, no, not an air gun, but this is a heat gun. So that way it can just dry off the acrylic. I don't use oil. It's too smelly, too messy. I like for things to get dry. I don't like to deal with the process, and I like to do layers. So I'm just going to dry a little bit off this real quick. That way I can use some oil pastel and make some lines in there, and then we're done. All right, so I'm done with that part of drying it off. Now it's time to just add some lines in there so we can punch it up. And this is a white pastel stick. You could get this from an art store as well. I got this from Dick Flicks. I use this a lot in my artwork. Now I'm using the black pastel. And you know, when you're doing these, you could just say to yourself that no one is going to see it. No one's going to see it but you, so you don't have to worry about it. This art project, I really want people to be in the mindset that no one has to know about it besides you and I. And then when the money starts rolling in, then you can start telling people. But that's the whole point, is that you don't need social media. You don't need for anyone to know about it. You don't have to embarrass yourself first in order for you to make money. That's what everyone else tries to teach, is that you need to set up these, very public things. And you're like, maybe I don't even want to be an artist. Why do I have to set up these things? And I'm not trying to be a full-time artist. I just want to create. Or maybe it's something fun that you did when you were in high school or years ago when you were in college. And you're like, I don't want people to think that I'm trying to do that with my life. I just want to make art and maybe make some money on the side. Then this is perfect for you. No one has to see this. But in a few months, when you're doing this and you're a part of the initiated, you'll be feeling open where you can have people see some of your work and it won't even matter. The reason why is because you have the proof in the pudding. You'll be like, man, you can't tell me anything. I've already made thousands of dollars doing this. And boom. You know what? Let's add one more step on here. Let's put some charcoal markings on here, and I think that would be perfect. And let's put bat on here again. Bat. All right. Some squibbles. Some squibbles. Look at that. We just did that together. That's perfect. Now that one took a little bit longer, of course, because we were talking, running our mouths the whole time, but no, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's a great example. Let me stop messing with it, because like I said, art can never be done, but that's fine. I mean, let me put my signature on it. Boom. Look at that. Not bad for the first painting. We did this together. I feel good about it. To the uninitiated, you might not know anything about fine art, but for people who know, this painting is worth over $1,000. And we did this together. It has so many layers in it, has so many original brushstrokes in it. It's all about authenticity. It's not about getting these AI cutouts that these factories made or anything like that. People pay for the mistakes, and only you can create your own mistakes and your own layers. That's what it's all about. So I'm gonna put this away. I'm gonna put parchment paper on top of it. Well, actually, wait. I'm gonna spray it with finish, and then I'm gonna put parchment paper on top, and then we're on to the next one. I'm gonna get the rest of them going. I'm gonna do a time lapse where, yeah, I'm gonna do a time lapse so I could just not be distracted, and then I'm gonna get through the rest of them. You can see my process and how we're gonna get through it. If I can do it, you can do it. Let's go.